banished to a remote, heavily guarded island without an army, but within 10 months he reclaimed the throne before the eyes of the world. How could a defeated man return to rule an empire in a matter of days? On a small Mediterranean island called Corsica in 1769, a boy was born who would shake the entire continent of Europe. His name was Napoleon Bonaparte. He came from neither a royal family nor a great noble family. His family belonged to the middle nobility of Corsica, which had recently fallen to the French. So Napoleon grew up a Corsican learning to be French. As a young man, Napoleon was known for his quiet, shy demeanor, but possessed of extraordinary intelligence and a burning ambition. He was sent to France to attend a military academy. There, he faced ridicule for his Corsican accent and his outsider status. But he repaid the insult in another way. He studied hard, mastering military strategy, mathematics, and classical history. He idolized figures like Julius Caesar and Alexander the Great. He imagined he would one day write a great story in his own name. Everything changed when the French Revolution erupted. The monarchy collapsed, chaos engulfed the country, and the military became the key to power. Napoleon saw an opportunity. He began his career as an artillery officer, but quickly became known for his bravery and tactical acumen. At the age of 24, he led troops at the siege of Toulon, capturing the key city from rebels and British forces. That was his first turning point. In 1796, he was sent to lead troops in Italy. There, Napoleon transformed from a young general into a legend. He routed the Austrian army, shook the European pecking order, and changed the face of modern warfare. He was known for his swift maneuvers, mastery of terrain, and ability to read enemy psychology. His troops called him Petit Caporal, Little Sergeant, with deep respect. But Napoleon was not just a general. He was also a master politician. In 1799, with France teetering on the brink of chaos due to a weak government, Napoleon returned to Paris and staged the coup of 18 Brumaire. He established a consulate, purged political opponents, and quickly became first consul, the de facto ruler of France. 5 years later, he proclaimed himself Emperor of the French, and all of Europe trembled. As emperor, Napoleon embarked on a campaign of conquest. He defeated Austria at Austerlitz, routed Russia and Prussia, and established the Confederation of the Rhine. He abolished feudalism in many countries and promulgated the Napoleonic Code, a modern legal system that remains the basis of law in many countries today. He created a national education system, unified the economy, and achieved remarkable administrative success. But behind his glory, Napoleon also brought chaos. War after war drained resources, and his ambition knew no bounds. He tried to isolate England through the continental system, but instead harmed the European economy. He invaded Spain, unleashing a guerrilla war that weakened his power. But his greatest mistake came in 1812, when he invaded Russia. With an army of over 600,000, Napoleon marched on Moscow. However, the Russians retreated, burning cities and leaving behind destruction. Napoleon managed to capture Moscow, but the city had been burned. Without food and shelter, his troops perished one by one as winter set in. Only about 100,000 returned. This defeat paved the way for a hostile coalition to attack him. In 1814, the coalition forces stormed Paris. Napoleon was forced to abdicate and exiled to the island of Elba, but a year later, he escaped and returned to France. The people welcomed him. The soldiers sent to capture him joined him. In a short time, he reigned supreme again in what became known as the 100 Days. But this time, all of Europe united against him. On June 18, 1815, at the Battle of Waterloo, Napoleon was finally defeated by the combined forces of Britain and Prussia. He was again captured and exiled, this time to the remote island of St. Helena in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. There he spent the rest of his life, writing memoirs and contemplating his fate. Napoleon died in 1821, at the age of 51. But his legacy lives on. He left a legacy of law, military might, education, and nationalism that shaped the face of modern Europe. He was both loved and hated. He is remembered as both a genius and a tyrant. He inspired French pride, but also brought destruction. Historians still debate, was Napoleon a revolutionary hero or an ambitious monster? What is certain is that he is proof that one man can change history, not by fate, but because of the courage to take it with one's own hands.